I planned a week and a half of meals, and honestly, I didn't really stick with it at all. So I wanted to go through what actually happened, what didn't work, and what I'm going to change moving forward. Hi, I'm Vicky, and this is my real life reset. If you've been following along, you'll know that I recently did a meal plan, which originally I wanted to plan for the rest of April, as it was kind of mid-April at the time. But I ended up planning just a week and a half because that felt very overwhelming because I wasn't used to meal planning at all. I had just done a very big Tesco shop. I had loads of food in my fridge, freezer and cupboards, and I wanted to make sure that nothing was going to go to waste. So I'll just quickly show you the meal plan. So here's the meal plan that I made a couple of weeks ago. As you can see, I've been crossing off the days as they go along, and I've also tried to remember to put either a tick or a cross next to each of the lunches and dinners to see which ones I actually followed. And unfortunately, as you can see, there's only a very small handful that I actually did stick to. So this plan has been a little bit of a flop, really. So I've been having a little bit of a reflection about why I think my meal plan didn't work and why I barely followed it at all. And I think, first of all, I think I planned too many days. It was just all a bit overwhelming. I was trying to remember everything that I had, even though I had the list of the stuff that I have. It was still really overwhelming to try and kind of plan that many days. I'd also set a lunch and a dinner for each day. And I think that possibly wasn't flexible enough for me, because I don't necessarily want the thing that's been planned. I like to kind of have the choice to chop and change a little bit. And I realised now that I didn't prioritise the food that I needed to use up either. So I think it was fairly towards the end that I realised I had a lot of potatoes that I needed to use up. And on my meal plan, I barely had any potato down at all. But I think the biggest reason why it didn't work is that the plan wasn't visible. I'd put it in my notebook, which I'd left on my dining room table. And because I couldn't see it, it was out of sight, out of mind. And quite often I didn't remember to check my meal plan until after I'd eaten the meal. So that was no good. So it was a bit of a flop. But it wasn't a complete waste of time because I've learned some things that I'm hoping will be useful moving forward. I now think that planning a week maximum will be much more helpful rather than trying to plan a longer period of time. Being able to keep the meal plan flexible is going to be really helpful moving forward because sometimes you don't fancy what you've planned for that day. Other times something unexpected might kind of pop up and you need to be out at a certain time or something like that. So it doesn't really kind of work. So I think for me, having a list of kind of planned meals would be good, but not having them set to a particular day. The plan also needs to be visible. It's no good if it's inside my notebook where I can't see it. It needs to be in the kitchen, probably on the fridge, so that I can just spot it easily. And every time I spot it, I'll remember, oh yes, my meal plan. So yeah, I'm going to try and do that moving forward. And the last thing that I've learned is that whilst the list of everything that I've got in my fridge, cupboard and freezer is really, really useful, I also need sort of another list really, and that's of food that I need to use up. So I can prioritise that when I'm planning the meals. Sorry about the tail. So what am I going to do differently? Well, what I think would be a much better plan for me is to, first of all, check the fridge, the freezer and the cupboards first. Note down all the things that I really need to use up. So sort of mark them as a priority. Then make the meal plan or list of meals that I can kind of move around from day to day as needed. and then write my shopping list and go and get the stuff I need. So that is the approach that I'm planning to use moving forward. We'll see if it works better. I think I was trying to be too organised all at once. So this time I'm going to keep it a bit simpler and just see how it goes. I'd be really interested to know what you do in terms of meal planning. You know, do you make a meal plan, or do you just kind of wing it as you go along? Do you set meals for specific days, or do you just kind of pick and choose like I'm planning to? Do let me know by leaving me a comment below. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you have a wonderful time, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.